I can't blow rings very well. That's all right. Hey, this is Jared Mirsky, CEO and founder of Wick & Mortar, and today's session lesson is all about packaging. But more importantly, how businesses can sell packaging easier to consumers based on what's called a packaging language. Now, most cannabis brands today use indica, sativa, and hybrid as a way of identifying the intended experience a consumer is supposed to have. But indica, sativa, and hybrid have been deemed a bit null and void given the fact that most strains are really hybrids. One's just more indica dominant or sativa dominant, but that doesn't really look sexy on packaging. So what can we do to simplify the process for a consumer when it comes to helping them identify why they should purchase my packaging or brand over yours or your competitors? Working with companies like Candescent and Narvona and so many more. Again, we've been in the industry for 11 years. So we've had a lot of time to learn how to develop a packaging language. Okay, so what is a packaging language, you're probably wondering. Give me a sec. One more sec. Thanks. A packaging language is essentially, well, think about it. There's milk, wine, coffee, and beer. Now you're probably also wondering, well, okay, we'll go on. Well, coffee, right, has dark roast, morning blend, and so many other variations. But if you notice, every coffee brand uses the same language across all coffee brands, as does wine, Chardonnay, and and so on. Not a big drinker, but if you enjoy wine, I'm sure you can get the point. Then you look at milk, there's 2%, 1% whole milk, and so forth, right? And so for cannabis, it was indica, sativa, and hybrid. But again, to the point I made earlier, that's no longer used in the traditional CPG space. And that's because there really aren't many CPG brands, or any at all for that matter, in the cannabis sector that are what I would call on a national level, that have really created the opportunity to communicate this language in broad enough strokes that other brands adopt it, much like you see in the global brand industry. Companies have been able to now create their own language by simplifying that using words like create, calm, connect, charge, much like Candescent. Or Narvona, they use words like black and gray to really make you feel something different, because honestly, sometimes colors make you feel different things. That's not new. You can also use genres of music, hip hop, electronic, jazz. If jazz was a series of strains, what might those be? I'm sure you can guess. It might be a series of indica dominant strains, is where electronic music, well, that sounds like a green crack to me. So again, what makes this industry so unique is the fact that, you know, cannabis fits within really 3 categories: medical, recreational, and wellness. What makes that unique and also a challenge is that because coffee, milk, wine, and beer share this unique language amongst all brands, because cannabis falls in these 3 sectors, there isn't really much of an opportunity to create this global packaging language that these other industries get to use. But what's also cool is we actually get to create our own. So I challenge you to get creative and really look at the depth of the strains that you're choosing to identify how a consumer might find that strain perhaps more relatable. Because I'll tell you, when I walk into a retail store myself, I'm not asking for strain specificity. I'm asking the bud tender to tell me which strains he thinks or knows are going to be the ones that I might be interested based on the experience I'd like to have. So again, when considering how you'd like to identify the intended experience behind your packaging language, just remember, bud tenders need to have a more simplified process with respect to selling your brand. So when a consumer comes in and asks for the intended experience, well, if that bud tender just happens to have a brand that has a similar word that is in fact relatable to the experience the consumer is asking for, well then chances are they're going to grab that product. So again, think about how you can differentiate yourself, because this really is a unique opportunity to do so. And if you can do this properly, you'll be able to command brand loyalty and prevent consumers from doing what they do best: bounce from one brand to another because they're curious, and that's just who we are. I think I need to relight this. Where's my lighter? There it is. Okay. So, till next time, this is Jared Mirsky, this is my lesson, and this was our session. Take care.